What's up? What's up? What? Nah, bullshit. Fly Free Sports back with another one. NBA stream. You know how we get down. My man Ben riding with me shotgun as always. My
Oh
man
yeah,
Ben, what's going on?
I'm good, man. Yeah, you was coming in hot with the Martin there for a second. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Martin. You know they got a real quick. They got Bad Boys 4 coming out
I
soon.
saw images of that, and I'm like, okay, Will Smith is trying to get his reunion tour going, I guess, but we'll see how
It
that
ain't gonna be the
goes.
same. It ain't gonna be the same. Like I don't want to see you as Mike Lowry now. Like you a simp ass, you a herb, you just you. I, yeah, I don't take Mike Lowry serious no more. Like it's over.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think it's just it feels like Rocky 4, where it's like the whole movie's just a money grab. Like
Yeah,
nobody really cares about this. But
yeah, they should have ended the Bad Boys series last one. But
yep, agreed.
yeah, man, we back with another night of NBA talk, another night of basketball talk, man. Um, the latest in the association. Looks like the West is kind of flip flopping.
Hmm.
Minnesota, OKC,
Hmm.
Denver. That's pretty much gonna be a thing. So we don't really have to go over that. But one of those three is gonna be the top seed.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious.
Hmm.
They're gonna flip flop for the rest of the season. But the East, we already know Boston will be the one
Hmm.
more than likely. Milwaukee and Cleveland will fight it out for the second seed
Yep.
and so on and so forth. But I know first and foremost, I wanted to I'd be completely remiss if I didn't say congratulations and a big shout out to Caitlin Clark for breaking the all-time NCAA scoring record.
Yep.
Um Pistol Pete Maravich, 3,667 points. That's a huge total. Like I don't think people really understand how big that is. That's like a 50 something year record.
Mhm.
Um
Yep.
And on top of that, I've been seeing, it's always got to be some kind of shade.
Mhm.
I've seen people saying shit like, well, Pistol Pete didn't have a 3-point line. And I'm like, yo, how many years have we played college basketball
Right.
where there was a 3-point line? Nobody else did it. Like,
Yeah.
so, it's always got to be something. I think it's more so to do with like it being a woman. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Nobody has shit to say about Pete Maravich until Caitlyn broke the record,
Right.
right? Like no, his name was not in anybody's mouth until Caitlyn did what she did. And to your point, we've had 40 years of what we would call modern basketball in college with a 3-point line and a shot clock.
Right.
So that I don't want to hear that argument, because if his record is so easy to break with the shot clock and 3-point line, why the hell anybody did it in 40 years?
Exactly. Exactly,
Right?
bro.
So like yeah, I don't want to hear that shit.
Just bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like,
Right.
so quick to take credit. I mean, just snatch credit from somebody. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
But that's a big total though. Like, and I know
Hmm.
just I think it was like maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, she passed Kelsey Plum
Hmm.
for the
Yep.
women's. So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah. Caitlin Clark, she, far and away the best shooter we've ever seen in women's basketball, and she probably top 10 we've ever seen in men's college. Like
yeah.
she's up there with like Chris Jackson. she's in that like stratosphere of like in
JJ
terms of
Redick.
all time JJ all time shoot. Well, we can name a bunch of people from Duke. I don't want to be I don't
Oh
want to be too
God.
much of a Duke homer
I
on
don't
the
even I don't
show.
even know why I did it. Try to go give him a little bit of fucking credit. Jump out the window.
Oh, you give a rat a cookie, you ask you for some milk. I tell you. But no, it's like this it's Steph like what we're seeing, what she's doing in college. It's Steph like. Um and and I said this last time we were on, this is the WNBA's best opportunity they will ever get to actually become profitable, because Caitlyn and Angel, that is your Larry and Magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the time. You got to strike while the iron's hot. They've got to take full advantage of this.
Mm-hmm.
My employee at work that reports to me, she's a massive basketball fan, so she's been like keeping me up to date of what's happening. So apparently the Big Ten women's tournament is sold out for like the first time ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the Fever have the number one pick, and they've already started putting her name and face
Yeah.
up everywhere.
And
Like, it's wild.
they doubled in ticket prices already, and for the Fever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that in itself says a lot. Like, they doubled in ticket price. She's not even on the team yet officially.
Right. Right.
So
So it's big time. So congrats to her. I'm not gonna take nothing away from her. Pete Maravich is one of the you talk about great shooters, one of the great shooters and basketball players that have ever lived. It's an honor to surpass somebody like that. So congratulations to her. I don't take nothing away from her.
yeah, and it's crazy to think that people are trying to take something from it. It's like, damn, man, like, what can you do? But
Yeah.
it's like, whatever. I'm curious to see what Iowa does in the tournament, though, because
Mhm.
their team isn't that good. It's like they have like one or two. They had like two players outside of Caitlyn that are like good players.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I know when they run up to South Carolina, like that's gonna be
Yeah.
a tall task. But if she can get a ring out of this year,
Yeah. It'll be something. I mean, it'll truly be special. I mean, Larry would have gotten the ring his senior year if not for Magic, right? So,
yeah.
we'll see.
So yeah. So once again, big shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. That's big. It's monumental. So
Absolutely.
what else we got,
Well,
man? I know you wanted to talk a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of monumental, the Warriors got their shit pushed in on, what was that, Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they did.
God. Man. I saw the box score. I was like, no, wait a minute. 140 to 88? Like, did I read that right? Am I missing a one in here somewhere?
It happened.
Dude.
What Charles Barkley said in Space Jam, it happened. It really happened.
I was going back watching the highlights of that game. So they both got off to a really hot start. So the first 6 minutes of the game, I think, was like 24-21. Like, both of them were like shooting the lights out. The last 18 minutes of the first half, the Warriors scored 17 points in the last, like, from 6 minutes to the first quarter to halftime. Like,
Sheesh.
bro, like, how? Like, how do you do that? I don't understand.
It's just one of them games that's gonna happen in the season. You have one of those typically in the season.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was last year, but I think it broke like the NBA record for they lost by like 60 something points. I forgot who it was. I have to look it up, but I know it happened last year though. It's like one of those crazy ass games happens every year.
Yeah. It's just like you're just flabbergasted. And but they bounced back. They blew the Bucks out last night at home. And like they're such an up and down team. And I so Chuck got a lot of flack for saying something last week. I totally agree with him. He talked about how much airtime Golden State and the Lakers are getting, and they're the 9 and 10 seed in the Western Conference. Like, none of these teams have a shot of doing anything significant in the playoffs, but
that's
everybody's talking about them.
Especially the Lakers. Like the Lakers, the same thing happened with them last year. They were a play-in team.
Yeah.
And somehow it's just all about the Lakers. Like, I get tired of hearing that. So I agree with him.
Yeah,
I agree.
But it's like, why aren't we talking about these other teams? Like OKC, it is criminal how little credit and press they're getting for how good that team is. It's just it's really criminal. I can understand Minnesota a little bit only because they've had that core for a while, and so people think it's kind of like fool's gold. But with OKC, you got this exciting up and coming young team, the MVP candidate at SGA. Like, there should be more press around this team. Like, they're not getting the respect they deserve.
I don't think it helped the other night. The Lakers beat them the other night, and I don't think that helped.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh, the Lakers gonna get the 8 seed, OKC gonna get the 1 seed, and the Lakers gonna put them out. So that's
Like,
that's the new narrative. That's the thing they running with now. So
yeah, all that from one game. Huh? Like,
right,
like
it's LeBron. It's
okay,
that LeBron effect. You know how it go. It's
yeah.
that LeBron effect, man.
I'm,
But
I'll be happy when he retires, but not for the reasons that people think. I'll be happy when he retires because the it's there's so much imbalance right now with media coverage. And yes, he's playing great in this stage of his career, but he's as you age, and I I watch some of my favorite superstars get old. You watch Hakeem Olajuwon decline. I've watched Kareem decline, watched Larry decline, Jordan, Kobe. The spotlight turns down for those players as they decline. Well, except for Jordan, the spotlight was always bright on him, regardless. He's an exception.
right,
But the spotlight tends to decline, especially if the team declines with you.
yeah,
And the spotlight has not declined on LeBron. Now, I get this the Lakers, so the sun always shines a little bit brighter in LA than it does everywhere else. Well, it shines better on the Lakers. The Clippers do not get the same level of shine, even though they're in the same, even though they're way better record and they play in the same building. Um,
crazy.
so I get that, like, people want to Lakers are the Lakers. But I want the media coverage to be spread more evenly across these young superstars that are just killing the game right now. Like, I want them to get more of the shine. And I think when LeBron retires, we'll have an opportunity for more of these young players to really get the shine they deserve.
Agreed. Yeah,
So
you spot on, spot on. I saw something recently with LeBron. He was mad because like the draft boards took Bronny off, and they like, oh, let him. You got to let him develop and all this. I'm like, nigga, you was the one that was just saying he could contribute solid minutes on the Lakers today. Like now you mad because it's just like
yeah,
he's just
yeah.
contradicting himself. You pumped
I
him
mean,
up to be this NBA player right now, and
right.
he's not that right now. And then now when they're saying that, you're getting mad because they're saying that. So it's like I don't get it.
Yeah. It's a classic thing of I want to play with my son, right? And Bronny Bronny is probably gonna have to be one of those players that have to play 3 or 4 years in college and
Yeah,
develop in college before he can contribute on an NBA level. And he'll get a shot because of, who his dad is,
right.
but he's gonna need more time in college to develop. And I mean, he could jump to the G League and he'll probably develop at a faster rate in the G League. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. I'm not an expert on that. But in
Right.
any case, LeBron's trying to shorten that time period before he gets to the NBA so that the
Yeah.
window of him playing with them stays open.
And he gonna fuck
Um,
around and ruin his career. Like that's how you ruin a lot of players' career, rushing them to the league. Like that's
yeah,
that's not that's not good for developmental purposes at all. So
right, right. But I mean, he's all about chasing the attention. Like that whole thing where he was posing after he hit the 40,000 points. I'm like,
I didn't even see
come
that.
on, man. Yeah, he did some pose where he like put up a 4 and a 0 in the middle of the game, and they lost that game. I'm like, you do all this posing for 40,000 middle of a game that you end up losing. Like, and I get it's a huge milestone. Like, we probably will never see anybody hit 40,000. If we do, it's gonna be 50 years. But like that, bro, like
He has a habit of doing that, like losing big game, like when he hits like records
mm,
or it's like
yeah,
a big like Lakers tribute or anything. Like they have a habit of losing those games over the years.
yeah. And honestly, the Lakers they're just that front office is in a tough spot because
I love it.
my prediction was totally wrong. I was expecting LeBron to have some type of season-ending injury like early in the season that would tank their whole team. That has not happened. Um, Anthony Davis is like healthy. Like it's uncanny, bro. I'm looking up the stats right now. Let me pull up Anthony Davis. Like he's not missed that many games this year. Like he's
No, he has.
actually coming to work.
You know what's crazy though? Like if somebody gave you those facts right there, somebody said Anthony Davis going to play the majority of the games, like 85, 90% of the games.
Yeah.
LeBron is going to be healthy. The team as a whole is relatively healthy. You would have
Mhm.
thought like they would be a higher seed than what they are.
Yeah, exactly. And they're struggling to make the play in, and they're basically been at full strength all year. Yeah, he's played 60 games. He
Yeah,
played almost every game this season.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was. I'm like, you have a healthy Anthony Davis. LeBron has been relatively healthy. I know he had to sit out a little while with it was what
With
is
the
a
ankle.
hamstring or something? It was an ankle, yeah. He sat out a little bit with that, but you've been pretty much full strength all year. And I mean, your intent now. The good news for the Lakers is Utah is 5.5 games behind them in 11th. And so
They're not coming
nobody's
back.
gonna catch the Lakers. So they're
Mm.
in the play in regardless. Um now Golden State, I think, I think they're playing beneath their potential.
They've been playing
Um,
better as of late, though. Besides the ass whooping they took to
yeah,
Boston, I think like before that game, they were like
yeah,
10 out of 12, like 10 out of the
right.
last 12 games or something like that. Or,
Yeah, they've been playing like the last 10 games, they've been 7-3 the last 10 games. So they're keeping pace
Mhm.
with some of the top teams lately. Um, but and I think a lot of it is, moving Clay Thompson to the bench, I think was a great idea. Having him
Mhm.
kind of anchor your second unit, him and Chris Paul coming in, anchoring the second unit, keeping that, momentum going. I think it's great. It seems that Clay has kind of adapted and embraced that role well.
Mhm.
Um, I was watching highlights from the game the other night. Golden State has a rookie that is a budding superstar. This Trace Jackson Davis,
Ray Jackson David, yeah.
man,
Mhm.
he's a beast, bro. he
Yeah.
would they were playing the Bucks. He must have blocked Giannis like 3 or 4 times. Like this dude's a beast, catching alley oops, running the floor. Like they got they that GM, he know what he doing up there. Like they
And
they have an eye for young talent.
isn't it Dunleavy Jr. now? I think he's the
Uh,
GM.
I
I think Mike
believe
Dunleavy
so.
Jr. is the yeah.
I believe so. But that front office has always had a knack for finding talent and pieces that fit that system. That they've one of the best teams in the NBA at doing that consistently. Um, so yeah, but it's gonna be interesting because I know that Clay is up for I think his contract's up this year,
Mhm.
and I can't see them paying him max money to come off the bench.
Mm-mm.
I can't see him taking less money.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I think Draymond's contract up as well?
No,
Trying to remember.
I think Draymond re-signed like last year. I think
Okay,
he
so
got like 2 more years on his contract, I
yeah,
think.
so he's locked in. You're paying Wiggins a bunch to not be great.
And he might have to
Um,
go.
yeah, I don't see a lot of room there for that. Um, so I know they're up against it, and then Stephen getting younger himself, and it's hard when you're under 6'4" to have a 20-year career. I don't know any guards that have had 20-year careers, right?
I think he may be the
So
first.
I mean, maybe. I mean, medicine is different. We may have talked about this. I was watching a YouTube about technology, how technology has advanced, and how the courts they play on is different than it was in the 90s. Like the composite that they're using um absorbs contact better. So it's
Right.
not as bad on you like
On
your
your
knees and your
knees.
joints.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so because of that, it's allowed players to not get as injured, to not break down as much because it's easier on their bodies, which
Mhm.
honestly makes a ton of sense as far as that's concerned. So um but speaking of technology, I'm gonna go off script just a little bit. Have you seen this new basketball that Wilson put out? It's an
No.
airless basketball. And
Airless?
It's airless. It's well, let me say it differently.
So what the hell?
It's basically it's the size and weight of a standard basketball, but it's like honeycomb. So it's porous, right? Like it looks like almost looks like a colander. Like it's the shape of a basketball, same size, but it's airless. There's no you don't pump it up. It's just like a 3D printed, like I don't know, polyurethane, whatever basketball.
What
It's
the hell?
weird. It's wild, bro. But it's the same weight as a basketball, same size, and it bounces the same. Like its characteristics, it acts just like a standard basketball. I'm like, bro, and
That's
it's like,
just doing too much.
dude, it's $1,000. But
What?
I don't think it's like releasing it to the public. I think it's more like a, kind of like how cars are put out like show cars. I think it's supposed to be like a
Mhm.
showpiece where they're kind of playing around with the technology. But I'm like, it kind of freaked me out when I saw it. But I was like, I don't think that's going to catch on because it might bounce the same, but shooting a basketball going through the air is going to be way more
Yeah.
aerodynamic, and the shooting characteristics are probably way off.
Yeah, they gotta stop all this shit. Like, I don't want the game being altered any more than it already has. Like, let's just leave the game and let it be pure. Like, well, it's not even pure no more, but let's just let it
Yeah.
be semi. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's already been talks about, has the game been ruined by the offense being too efficient, right? So I don't know if the competition committee is going to consider any major changes to that. I don't really know. I don't know anything reasonable you could do
about to say,
to
what can you
lower
do?
scores.
Call more travels, I guess, or
Well, yeah, what you meant to say was call travels because currently they don't call travels. Um, really? So
unless you play the Lakers.
the most efficient way to lower scoring, but would ruin the game, is to take the 3-point away.
Oh
Like just
hell no.
erase the 3-point line. If you want to lower scoring, that will do it, but it will completely ruin the game.
Yeah, that's
So it's kind of a non-starter. Moving the line out, I don't think does anything because everybody's shooting from the logo now anyway. So moving
yeah,
the line to 30 feet, I don't think makes that much of a difference.
it won't.
Um, you could, make the shot clock longer, but again, with the way that the systems are playing now, I don't know that moving it from like 24 to 30 seconds is going to incentivize teams to take more of the time because they're coming down and putting up a three within 5 or 6 seconds anyway. So
I think the only
um
answer is just to tighten up on the whistles, man. Like that's
yeah,
because there's a lot of carrying, a lot of traveling,
yeah,
lot of rules being broken on the offensive end. So if
yeah,
they could tighten up on that, then that'll probably get it down some. It won't fix it completely, but
yeah. It's
because
just
the players will adapt anyway. They start calling it. The players gonna learn new ways to do certain moves and what
right.
they could get away with. It's all manipulation of the game. So
Yeah, it's just, like watching highlights. So, I told you about the channel House of Highlights. You watch highlights, 80% of the highlights is corner three-pointers or just people coming down hitting three-pointers. That's
mhm.
almost all the highlights. And I mean, we've just gotten too good at shooting three-pointers. Like that's just everybody can shoot threes now. It's not the 90s where you had like 3-point specialists that would come out and hit the big shot. Now,
Yeah,
now your centers hitting, Embiid's hitting three-pointers, Jokic is hitting three-pointers. Like,
it's a requirement to play in the league now to
yeah.
shoot through. Right?
So I don't know. Maybe if we studied Europe, what they're doing in Europe, because Europe basketball was like this way before it was, here. Everybody could shoot over there. So I don't know what changes or adjustments they're making to Euro basketball, but maybe we can adapt some of that over here.
I don't know. They let them niggas goaltend and all that. They
Yeah.
ball on the rim, you can slap it off, like all that type of
So
shit. Like
maybe you adjust your goaltending rules, right? Maybe you relax those a little bit. That might help
that'd be
also.
crazy because as athletic as the players are over here, that'd be a crazy
Yeah.
rule change.
Also, they play more physical. They get away with
Mhm.
more physical fouls over there than over here.
Yeah,
So maybe if you dial up the physicality a little, that would help. Um,
I think Luca
but
spoke
I don't know.
about that.
Hmm.
Luca
Yeah,
said it's easier to play here because over there is a little,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
little
It's
different.
bully ball over there for real, like real bully ball. So
yeah, so it made sense.
yeah, man. All right,
But
so I would be remiss if I did not talk about Jordan Poole.
oh shit,
This I want you to know, Justin, that this man who said that the Wizards are his team, he said that multiple times. This man scoring less than he did when he was at Golden State. His scoring average at the Wizards is 16.7 points a game. His last 2 seasons at Golden State, he averaged 18 and a half and 20 points a game, playing the same number of minutes. He's still playing 30 minutes a game. You actually score less for the team that you claim is your team. This clown fell down on a fast break and considered shooting the ball from a
yeah, I
seated
saw
position.
that.
What?
I honestly thought he was about to shoot it. Like it surprised me when he passed it. I swear I was surprised when he passed it.
Like, just like you have mental health problems. Like you need therapy. Like you on some meta world peace shit right now. Like what is going on, bro? And your partner Kuzma, your running
Oh my
mate, like
God.
he's been off the ranch. He just off the ranch, bro. Like y'all living on Kyrie's flat earth, man. Like what the hell is going on, man?
One of them got to go,
Dude. So I looked up so when I was looking at the stats for him, on ESPN, they'll show you like the upcoming games, and they have a link that shows you a link to Vivid Seats to buy tickets to the game. So next week, I think they go to play the Grizzlies in Memphis. I'll give you a guess as to what the cheapest ticket is to attend that game. Guess how much you can
$15.
buy a ticket. Lower.
Damn, $7,
Lower.
$5.
In the words of Johnny Taylor, but these last $2, you can buy a ticket for $2. Now that's a nosebleed. So I said, okay, well, let me go into a little bit. You can sit in the lower level.
$200.
You can sit in the lower level. So not on the floor, but the first bleachers on the lower level behind the floor seats, behind the basket for $9. $9, bro. These are professionals. Like, these are professionals. This ain't G League. This ain't minor league baseball, right? Like, I think I had to pay more to see Alexa's recital, her dance recital. I had to pay more than that to see that.
Yeah, some high school games you gotta pay more than that shit.
Man, these are professionals. So
what's the court? Did you look at the courtside seat?
No, well, courtside is still like courtside is still like $600 or whatever.
That's
$500. It's still really expensive.
That's decent.
But, I mean,
because I pay for a courtside seat at the Hawks and Grizzlies game, and John and everybody was playing. That shit was like $1,100 or something like that.
But I thought you were on the floor behind the basket.
I was,
but I guess you would say that courtside, yeah. So your actual like premium like courtside like mid court half court is like $600, but behind the basket it was like $100 something, $200 something.
But even the ones on the side like mid court, they were like probably $1,300 or $1,400. It wasn't that much more than what I paid for mine, so it was like
right. Yeah.
So for a $600 ticket on courtside is
yeah, you might have to make it up to Memphis then, because surely
that's because we ain't got nobody playing either. Like,
right, yeah,
we got a whole bunch of niggas that ain't seeing no real minutes when our guys is healthy either. So
right. So I just wanted to call out the bitch assness of Jordan Poole, and I was gonna say I would hope that this is a humbling experience for him, but I think we both know that he's not going to learn anything from this situation. And when his contract's up, he's going to expect a massive extension from Washington. And I just hope that he flames out as quick as possible. I don't have to see him on my TV anymore. That's
I mean,
that's it for me. That's all I got to say about that.
he's still getting paid though. Like he getting paid a good salary to do this bullshit too. So
Yeah. And who's gonna stop him? Nobody. So
nope.
it's because it's the Wizards. Like nobody cares. Like who cares? Like nobody cares. So whatever. I'm not gonna care either. Y'all ain't never cared about basketball in Washington. Not ever since what's his name? The legend used to play there in the 70s. His name escapes me now.
In Washington, you said?
Yeah, he used to play for the Bullets. Wes Unseld. That's who I'm thinking about.
Oh.
Y'all ain't cared about basketball in Washington since Wes Unseld.
I was about to say
Bernard King.
I was about to say George Mirasan.
Bernard King played there briefly. George. Oh yeah, man.
Bernard King.
Yeah, but nobody's cared about basketball since Wes Unseld left. So
that's crazy. But I mean, Michael Jordan gave him a little something early 2000s.
Yeah,
Gilbert Arenas a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, you knew that team. That team has never been a contender. Not since I've been alive. They've never been a contender for anything. When you play the Wizards, you about to go on a winning streak. Like that's that's been their thing, right? So
yeah, that's a horribly ran organization. Have they had the same owner the whole time after Mike, or what?
I have no idea. Probably. I don't know.
I got to look into that because that's kind of crazy when you think about it.
I don't know, man. The way they're playing right now, me and you might be able to put some money together and buy the team.
Joe,
they might be selling for about 70, 80 grand. I might be able to get a ViStar credit union.
Yeah, if they sell it for that, I'm definitely buying. Like we turning this thing around.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I was reading something because I was on the team page and they had all the articles. And something said that the mayor came out and said that the stadium is going to be part of their budget. I don't know if they're trying to do stadium renovations, but the mayor's already said the city's not putting up money to do the renovations for the stadium. I'm like, damn. Man, y'all don't give a shit about this team. God damn.
All they teams suck though. Like the Commanders, I don't even know what the Capitals doing these days. I don't know.
But the Capitals just won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, Ovechkin, man.
He's still there?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hockey players play today like 90, bro.
This nigga been playing for like 23 years. Like, damn.
I think he's still there. They don't, they'll never. I think man.
He better be first on the all-time goals list by now. Like, damn.
Did he catch Gretzky? Did somebody catch Gretzky?
He got to be close. If he hasn't, he got to be close. He been playing since I was fucking 15. Like, that don't make no damn
let's
shit.
See.
Ovechkin
Gretzky's still number one with 1487, but Ovechkin's close. He's got 1404. So he's like
right
80
there.
goals behind.
He better get that. I know he about 45. He got to be.
Yeah, I'm clicking on his name now.
That's crazy. He's still playing.
He's only 38 years old.
What the hell?
Yeah,
he been on the
started. Yeah, but it's his 20th year. He was drafted in 2004, so he was drafted really young.
Is he still good? It's like, is he still?
So now don't get me to lying about hockey. Let me see.
I remember he was the shit like for a long time.
Okay, let me see goals.
Like, do they decline like basketball players?
I don't think they decline this as fast because they play a lot of shifts, so they're on and off a lot. Your best players, they don't play a lot of minutes because they play the shifts back and forth. Yeah, a lot of line changes and stuff. So he's currently second on the team in goals scored this season.
Damn.
He's got 17 goals this season. So I would call that pretty good if you're second on a team in goals.
The fact that he's not 40 yet is blowing my mind. That shit is crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm trying to see what a high goal scoring thing would be. Let's see stats. Let's go to stat. Oh, I need to get out of this.
Alexander Ovechkin. That nigga was a beast, boy. When I was a teenager, like, psh.
Yeah, it's I'm looking up stats now. Regular season goals. So yeah, the top goal scorer has 54 this season.
Sidney Crosby still playing?
I'm sure he is because he came in after
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby. Yep. He's actually 12th in goals scored this year with 32.
Crazy.
He's I'm pretty sure he's pretty young because he's
He
36.
came in real early. Yeah, he came in early.
Yeah, he was drafted a year after Ovechkin. He's 36. And he's leading his team in goals scored, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, he lighting it up. He's already got almost as many goals as he had all last year. So yeah, he's lighting it up. But see, that's the thing, like your top scorers, like your forwards in hockey, they're protected. They're not as protected as like quarterbacks in the NFL, but like it's kind of known that if you like you can't like check them up against the boards. Like you gunning for a fight if you do some shit like that. They're kind of protected. So, or it's like it's like hitting a batter in baseball, like there's some protection there. But anyway, we got off on a tangent. But yeah, Ovechkin's still doing his thing. 80 goals away, 38 years old. He's gonna pass Gretzky. Like that is happening.
The next thing you know, you're gonna tell me Martin Brodeur still playing.
No, he's not. But one of those guys from Pittsburgh came back. It wasn't Lemieux. It was the other guy. Who am I?
Yager?
Damn it! Was it? It was a Yager.
Jaromir Yager.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Yager? I'm trying to remember.
Probably. I know Jaromir Yager played for a long time.
It was. It might. I can't remember who it was. I remember he was saying that he was playing with players that hadn't been born when he started.
It's probably Yager.
It was either it wasn't Lemieux. I'm trying to think. There's another like super old guy who used to play for the Penguins.
Because Yager and Lemieux were teammates for a little bit. Mario Lemieux. He the only one I could think of.
It was one of them. I can't remember. Super Mario Returns.
Pavel Bure. That's crazy. I know this many hockey players too. Like,
yeah. Yeah, you got me beat on that one for sure. Anyway, so yeah, the Wizards are terrible. The only thing good about Washington sports is Ovechkin. So damn. That's it for that.
That's wild. Yeah, man. I saw something last night. I just thought about this shit. It really pissed me off. I'm on Facebook, as I always, I peruse.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a nigga say, I don't even want to say it. Brace yourself.
All right.
He said, if Michael Jordan played today, he would be like DeMar DeRozan. That's the whole quote. He would be DeMar DeRozan right now. The level of disrespect. Like, I don't even like, and this is why I say, like, I don't even.
So, go ahead and finish what you're saying. I'll respond.
This shit just gives me a headache, man. Like, I don't even. I refuse to talk sports with certain people. Like, I'm really like starting to shut it down. Like, because those are the type of arguments I don't even want to have. Like, I don't even want to explain to you why that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to go through why. Like, why go through that and explain to you why that doesn't make sense? It's just a waste of my time and energy. Like, but it pisses me off so bad where to the point where it feels like it has to be addressed. Like it's like a catch-22. I can't stand it. Like, so how you feel about that?
So people like that is the reason why I say that when you reach 12 or 13 years old, you should be given an IQ test. And if you fail the IQ test, they should just sterilize you so that you can't have children. We don't need dumb people like that bringing the next generation of fools into the world, right? Like you just like you said, like these people need to be in padded rooms, like isolated from society. I I don't I fail to understand when people start talking about eras and stuff like that. I fail to understand how people can just ignore things like Michael Jordan in this era would still be 6'6", would still have incredible handles, would still be all team defense, would still be the best athlete on the court, would still have the
Preach,
indomitable will to win.
preach.
He would still be all those things. You don't think that Michael Jordan would be shooting 40% from three like everybody else in the league today? Like
Exactly.
you don't think that Michael Jordan would be the lockdown defender that he was? You don't think that Michael Jordan would single-handedly transform an entire team's culture just with his personality and his will to win? Like like those are things that persist through any era, right? You know, like Bill Russell would still be cleaning boards today. If Bill Russell played today, he would still be cleaning boards because that's what he did.
It's
Hakeem would still be skyhooking people to death today. Like, bro, don't come at me with that. See, I'm about to knock my damn mic over. Like, I
it's just
don't understand.
it's like God. It's, I was just like I had to go to bed. I read that shit. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed, man. Like, I don't even understand. Like, what are you looking at? And I've been saying lately, like I've been saying it for a while, but more as of late, because I've just been seeing some of the most asinine shit on the internet. It was like the internet really exposes people for their lack of just everything. Like,
Yep.
you could get on here and just say anything, and it's just
Yep.
going like, and people want to have a debate. I think that's really what it's about. People just want to have a debate about something. Like, it's just getting out of hand. I know, sports debating is the big thing on, daytime television and all that shit. It's just spilled over to the internet. Everybody want to be Skip Bayless or have a hot take, or this shit is just frustrating. And then they say the most crazy shit to get your attention, and you can't help but to respond to it. Like I said, it's like this shit is so stupid. It's like I gotta say something to you. I can't just let this go.
Yeah, it's like when that the girl used to be on Wild 'N Out said all that shit about Martin Luther King. Like, come on, not there's just certain people that you just can't talk shit about. Like, there's certain people that are just untouchable, right? And like MJ is one of those people. You like there's not a single player in the NBA that can honestly say that they weren't inspired by watching Michael Jordan play basketball. Not a single one of them. Not a single one of them.
And then these
Right?
niggas act like he wasn't playing against like Kobe Bryant or Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. Like he was still in the league when these
Right.
guys were like. So what are you saying? Like
Not
what?
only still in the league, still winning championships when these guys were in
Right?
the league. Like,
Like what the hell are
bro,
we talking about? Allen Iverson running around, Jordan still winning. Like so, what's so much greater about what the hell's going on now that he would have been DeMar DeRozan? Like that shit is
I
just so.
love how like they forget things like he was averaging 30 points a game when the Bulls were averaging 80 points a game.
I'll do
Right?
you one better. I'll do you one better than that. Michael Jordan probably was better than DeMar DeRozan while he was on the Wizards. The Wizards
Totally agree.
Jordan is probably like the equivalent of DeMar DeRozan.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah.
Like,
100%.
come
So,
on, man.
so again, like you said, people just say dumb shit on the internet for attention because attention is currency in this era of social media. Um And like here we are. We're talking about some dumb shit and some dude said on your Facebook page, right? But hey, you
I
getting
wasn't
views
on,
off of it. You farming it for content, so cool.
no, it wasn't on mine. I just happened to be
Oh, you were
scrolling.
scrolling, yeah. So I mean,
You
whatevs,
know,
bro. But I mean,
I
we have
came
certain
across.
family members that I don't talk about. When we've talked about these family members that people are just you're not qualified to discuss sports with me anymore because of the dumb shit that you said to me. Um like for me, like so Jordan is kind of off limits. For me, also the dream team is like off limits, like the 92 dream team. Like no one will ever be able to convince me that there was a group of players assembled better than that team. No team beats that
Right.
team in any era at any time. Pick your own random starting five. Nobody beats that starting five. Like
Agreed.
nobody. Nobody beats that starting five. So I don't entertain any arguments about anything. Like
I
you
agree.
know,
It's
so
just, yeah, it's just gotten out of hand, man. It's just really
yeah.
gotten out of hand. Like the amount of stupid shit I see on a daily basis. Like, come on,
Anyway.
man. I just had to bring. I thought about it. I had to bring it up.
Yeah, no, get off your chest. It's your show, man. So hey.
Come, come on with the dumb shit, man. What else we got for the night, man? Oh, gotta jump in a couple 2v2s I got.
All right.
I got 3 good ones.
Okay.
Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce
Mhm.
versus Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis.
Ooh, Celtics versus Celtics. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh man. hmm. Well, I I'm gonna go with Ray and Rashard only because they actually pretend to play defense.
Pretend to play defense.
they actually can play defense a little bit, or they actually want to play defense sometimes.
Paul Pierce play a little defense. You know, he guarded LeBron all them years.
Yeah. Paul's one of those, like, you get 50, I get 50. He's one of those guys. He's like a
Fair
Dominique
enough.
Wilkins. Like Dominique will put 30 on you, but he's gonna give up 35 to whoever he's guarding.
That's a fact.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ray and Rashard just because I think defensively they're slightly better, and the 3-point shooting, like they just gonna kill you with them threes.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I thought it was a interesting one because they both played together. I did try to do 2 that played together
Mm-hmm.
at the same time too. I think Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce won the Celtics same time.
They're
The
same
Sonics
time. Yep, and they were on the
same time.
Sonic.
Sonics
I said
yeah.
Celtics, but I don't think Rashard Lewis ever played for the Celtics.
Nah, it was I did that for the Sonics
Yeah.
back when Ray had them niggas was, man. I remember we played them. I think we played them in the playoffs when I was a Sacramento Kings fan.
Mm-hmm.
Shot our lights out. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that Seattle, well, it was a Key Arena or whatever they played in.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yep.
God, they shot the roof off that shit.
Yeah, Ray was a bad boy. Like I think people forget how
Yeah,
he
man.
was a bad boy prior to like going to the Celtics and accepting more of
Yeah,
a role player type thing. Like he was he was a man up in Seattle, man, and went
yeah.
to
Ray,
Milwaukee, same thing. So
man, what? Ray Allen was more than a shooter. He became just a shooter when he, later in his career when he played for the Celtics and the Heat.
yeah,
But that early Ray Allen will dunk on your ass. He'll take you off the dribble. Like Ray Allen
yeah.
was a bad boy,
He
man.
he was Jesus Shuttlesworth, man. Like can't take nothing away from him.
Man, I don't think a lot of people remember that Ray Allen though. They just kind of
Right. Mm-hmm.
think about Boston Ray Allen.
Yeah.
This is going to Jermaine O'Neal
Ooh.
and Ron Artest
Mm.
against Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince.
First of all, it's gonna be a fight. A fight will break out on the court. I've got to get that out the way. Man. See, I love me some Rasheed Wallace and I love me some Jermaine O'Neal. I love both of their games. So this is a very difficult one. I don't see a defensive edge here because Ron Artest was a very underrated defender. And of course, Tayshaun with all that length, like it's hard to score on him. I think that of these four, I think Jermaine O'Neal is the best player of these four. So I'm gonna give it to O'Neal and Artest. But I think they're so evenly matched, you have to give the edge to the best player.
I expected you to go with the Pistons duo.
I mean, you know it was hard. But I gotta, you know.
Oh man, that's kind of tough, man. But I'm biased though, because I'm a big Rasheed Wallace fan. So
Yep. Yeah.
I think
I don't know. You can't be a real nigga and not like Rasheed Wallace. Like it's just like you just so that's why I love Charles Barkley so much, because he was a real nigga before, like he was an OG of real niggas. He just 100% honest all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh damn. I probably go Rasheed and Tayshaun Prince.
Okay.
Like you said, the length of Tayshaun, man. Tayshaun had a signature play against Reggie Miller, the chase down.
Yeah.
Tayshaun he's the intangible guy. Like he when I think about intangibles, I think Tayshaun Prince. Like
Yep.
He's gonna do all the shit in between that you need to get the job done.
Yep. He was Shane Battier before Shane Battier.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tayshaun Prince is one of them guys, man. So yeah, I gotta go with them. And I love Ron Artest, but I just gotta go with the Pistons duo.
Yep.
Ooh, Baron Davis and Monte Ellis. Yes, James Harden and Chris Paul.
God, you know I hate James Harden. Oh my God. Oh,
see how much you respect him.
I mean, you gotta respect the game. Gotta respect this game, but I just hate me some James Harden. I actually don't like either one of these guys. I don't like Harden or Chris Paul.
You don't like Chris Paul like that?
No, man. I think they both bitches to me, man. Chris. So I'm gonna tell you, this is how I feel. This is Chris Paul to me. My brother used to have a dog. He was a Yorkie, but he grew up in a house with a Rottweiler. So this little 6-pound Yorkie thought that he was a big dog. That's his Chris Paul. He's a little dog that thinks he's a big dog. And I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Yeah, I don't like that shit. I'm gonna pick Baron and Monte just because I don't like either one of them other niggas, but also because both of these are extremely underrated players. You talk about like prime Baron Davis, like Baron Davis was just an absolute monster. Like just cross you over, he'll dunk on you, pop back, hit the three, skip passes,
quick as hell, strong,
everything. Like you can't do nothing with him. Like, he was like a power forward in a point guard's body. Just ridiculous. And Monte, first the speed kills, man. But Monte Ellis and Baron Davis, I mean, it's hard to name two players as faster than them two. Like it's just you can't stay in front of them. And plus, we already know Harden don't play any defense. So, yeah, give me Baron and Monte.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out there. I just want to hear you talk a little shit. It worked.
Listen, anytime you bring up James Harden, you guarantee to get some shit talk from me.
But yeah, it goes without saying. Baron Davis and Monte Ellis, man. Like we going with the Mississippi Bullet in them.
Yep.
Last one. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Oh my God, he went there. Okay.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Oh my God. Oh See, now I've made some statements on this show, and I don't want to contradict myself. I have said on the show that Thomas and Dumars are the greatest backcourt in NBA history. I've said that on this show. If there was a duo that would ever cause me to change my mind, it would be the duo you just mentioned. They come the closest of any duo in NBA history. I cannot ignore 3-point shooting is just, I mean, it's Steph and Clay. Like this, that goes without saying. There's no stopping that. There won't be a whole lot of paint points with this matchup. It's gonna be played on the perimeter, on the wing. And when you got a game of 2-on-2 where it's gonna be decided on the perimeter, you cannot beat Steph and Clay on the perimeter. So if it's a 2-on-2 with just these two players, I gotta go with Steph and Clay because it's the perimeter game. You can't beat them on the perimeter. So I gotta go with Steph and Clay. I have to. In the 2-on-2, Steph and Clay. I know it's shocking, but in this situation, like, plus and it's not lost to me that Clay, there's a size difference too. There's a size advantage, right?
Yeah, when you add Clay in, yeah.
When you add Clay in, it's he's got a massive size advantage. They're better 3-point shooters than Isaiah and Joe Dumars are. Now Isaiah and Joe, I think, are more efficient players overall. And if I felt like the game had an element of inside outside, then yeah, I think you could make an argument for there being an advantage. But
Right,
even then, with Clay on the inside, like, what are you going to do, right? So
how about we do this? We throw in Draymond and we throw in Dennis Rodman.
That's interesting.
3v3.
Because I don't want to disrespect Draymond either in terms of you talk about intangibles and all the stuff that he does and what he means to that team.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw in Rodman, I have to go the other way. I have to go with the Pistons. Because I as much media there has been around Rodman, I personally still think that he's underrated in terms of his contributions to the game and his physical abilities that he intentionally understated because he's such an asshole. He's asshole to himself, as well as psychologically, he has a psychological edge over all of these players, including Draymond, who loves to play games himself.
Yeah, true.
So 3v3, yeah, give me Isaiah, Dumars, and Rodman. But yeah, 2v2, I don't like. They can't keep up with Steph and Clay. Like, they can't go basket for basket with those two. You just can't. Nobody can go basket for basket with those two. Nobody.
You don't think Dumars would get some stops on Clay? Like,
I mean,
I think a little rough with him.
So again, if they're playing like 2-man pick and rolls and stuff like that, it's just Clay's too big. Like, Clay Dumars can prevent you from penetration, right? He can stop you from like getting easy shots close to the basket.
Right.
But if you just doing a pick and pop and catching in rotation and shooting a three, like,
you need about that much space to get it off.
Like it's what, a 4 or 5 inch difference. Like, how tall is Clay? 6'9",
like
6'10",
6'7", like 6'7".
Even still, 3-inch difference. You're not getting at that. You're not getting to that. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to throw it out there, man. I ain't expect you to pick the Warriors. Honestly, I didn't.
It was really hard. Wait, I've already told you how I feel about those two, but in the context of a 2v2 game, I have to be realistic about it's just 4 people on the court, and first of all, with Steph, if it's 4 people on the court and one of them Steph, there's no answer for that at all. Like at all. There's no answer for that. Because I haven't played organized basketball, but I've been on courts where one guy could shoot, was just a great shooter, and there's no answer for it, right? You just have to hope he misses.
Yeah. That's how it go. That's how they used to hope I miss, but
It's not too late, man. Go and get you a G League contract.
Yeah, with these knees, shit. I got Z League knees.
Z League. Well, if yours is Z League, mine ain't even got a letter.
Yeah, my shit went through the whole alphabet. They done.
Oh,
they
man.
cooked.
Man, that's hilarious.
But what was I about to say? How would you feel about a series though? If Bad Boy Pistons against Golden State Warriors championship teams?
That it would be a great series. I do think the Warriors would beat them. Because because it's an era, there's an era's problem there in a way. 3-point shooting is so prolific in this era that that's always been the difference with the Warriors is perimeter play and their ability to hit the threes. And that just creates a matchup problem for the Pistons that they wouldn't be able to overcome, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, but having said, I say that it would still be, I think it would be a 7-game series because Clay and Steph aren't going to be hot every game. And the Warriors have to contend with, it also depends on like rules. So if it's 2023 rules, the Pistons don't, they're rendered ineffective because of their physicality is what gave them the advantage in games.
Right.
So if you're going off of 2024 rules, the Pistons become pretty irrelevant. Now, if you're going off of 1989 rules, right?
Yeah.
Is a it's a different story. They can make it compelling. So if you're going off of 1989 rules, yeah, I think it's much closer because the defense is going to keep the Pistons in every game, right? Because that's not a team you can blow out because defensively how good they are. Especially Robin gets rolling and people forget about their bench was ridiculous. When you talk about like Vinnie Johnson come off the bench, starting, Mark Aguirre was a small forward, very underrated, as a small forward.
Rick Mahorn on the team.
Yeah. So again, enforcer off the bench, power forward position, grabbing rebounds, knocking people's heads off when they drove down the lane, like
Bill Laimbeer, dirty ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like but again, so you think about, and this was before, so that team was before Robin went crazy. Robin was still like a reasonable young man. He was playing on the Pistons. Yeah. It wasn't until he left that he started like paint his hair different colors and go all crazy and shit. But that he learned that hard nose stuff from Mahorn and Laimbeer. So you imagine Robin, Mahorn, Laimbeer, like who's going to score in the paint on those three? Nobody, right? But yeah, I still think the Warriors just too much 3-point shooting, man. Like, yeah.
So even with the era, even with the era difference, what would you say about them versus the 97, 98 Bulls?
I think the difference with the Bulls is
they have those guards that can guard.
Well, first of all, you have bigger guards, right?
Ron Harper,
and Michael Jordan. Those are bigger guards. Scottie Pippen on the wing. They're much bigger. Also, so Steph is one of those guys. He's an X factor.
Yeah, he's gonna get it.
He's just untouchable. And what am I trying to say? He's ethereal. Yeah, he's unfuckwittable, right? Like he's one of those guys. He's just one of those guys. Michael Jordan's one of those guys. He's unfuckwittable. It don't matter what you do.
You're not gonna get there regardless.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But defensively, the Bulls have those teams, especially, has so much size. When you talk about Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and then Luke Longley, like,
Long.
like it's just because if even in this era, they could play 90 style on you, and the Warriors would be helpless. Like there's literally okay, you dish it down to Luke down low. Who's gonna stop Luke Longley on the Warriors? Kaminga?
Draymond Green.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Draymond Green gets dunked on like going every play. Like it's not happening. All those dribble penetration will become like non-existent.
What about if
So
that team it was the KD Warriors though? Would that make a difference?
yeah, it does because that team was just unfair. Like that. It's just KD Warriors was like the Lakers when they had like Magic, Kareem, James Worthy, Byron Scott. Like that was like it's just unfair. Like there's no way that there should be this many superstars on one team. Like it's just unfair.
Yeah, they like I say it to this day, they never would have lost. They would have never lost. If
Right.
healthy, they would never lose.
Yeah.
It's just too much to defend. It's
It's too
way
much.
too much to defend.
Yeah. It's just that, and I heard Draymond say he felt like that was the greatest NBA team of all time. It's hard to argue against that. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like maybe 85 or 87 Lakers, maybe just because
Yeah.
they were so stacked with
They'll
Kareem
get out
and
and they'll get out and run, but it's like, do you really want to play that game though? Like with the ugh.
well, I mean, nobody was better at fast break basketball than the Lakers were. Like that, they like
That's what I'm saying. They'll get out there running and it turn to a track meet and the Warriors pulling up threes. It's like, ugh.
yes. But the thing is, though, is Steph is still the greatest shooter. I'm about to say something people might think is disrespectful about Steph, so I need to put some respect on his name first. Steph is the greatest shooter in NBA history. Now, in my mind, there's no dispute. Prior to him, I would say I even felt that Reggie Miller was better than Ray, even after Ray passed. I still felt at that point Reggie Miller was still the best shooter we've ever seen. Prior to that, Larry Bird. Steph has surpassed all of them. He's the best shooter NBA's ever seen. Steph is streaky. Steph can get real hot and Steph can get cold. Now he's hot more than he's cold, but when he's off, the whole team is off. Like it messes up the whole team's rhythm.
Like that
And
game the other night when they got their ass whooped by Boston.
Right. So the team, the problem the Warriors have, even when KD was there, is that they're too emotionally dependent on how well Steph is playing. Right. Like Steph can elevate their play when he's playing well, but when he's off, they don't have another person that can boost and elevate their game, right?
Nope.
Like if MJ is off, you still had all those other guys there that could help to boost and elevate. Because it was very rare that MJ and Scotty were off the same night, and they could both be off and still win because the defense was so good.
Yeah. Yep. They won
So
games 85-81. Like
right, 72-70. Like,
yeah.
bro, like okay. But so because the defense is so good to kind of bail you out. So with that those Lakers teams, when you think about like AC Green and Magic and
AC
Kareem,
Green. That's a damn name right there.
man, Michael Cooper, like they had so many dogs, man. Like so the bench, and then you forget about bench scoring. Like the bench, Golden State never has really had a great bench. I think their bench is actually better today than it's been in a really long time. When you think about Clay and Chris Paul coming off the bench. So I think bench scoring makes the difference there with that team, but that's probably the closest team I could think of. But also, we're talking a lot about matchups, right? So when you talk about greatest teams, you could talk about them in terms of accomplishments, but if you think about how they match up with each other, it kind of changes the conversation. Just like we just talked about with Isaiah and Joe Dumars, right? Because of the matchup, it's a better 2-on-2 matchup, right?
Right. Yeah. So that was something to think about, man. Because you hear these arguments all the time. Oh, with the 98 Bulls beat the KD Warriors and all that shit. It's fun to talk about. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
never know what the hell would happen, but it's fun conversation.
Well, people like me will be like, okay, let's put that in a video game and simulate 1,000 games and just see what happens. See what comes out.
You probably can on 2K, sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Good show tonight, man.
For sure.
Yes, sir. We'll be back next Thursday with more, man. NBA talk, more basketball talk. Once again, shout out to Caitlin Clark, man.
Yeah. Yep. Shout out.
Excellent.
She is the GOAT now. She's the GOAT.
Man. Hands down.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see her step on the court in the WNBA and keep it going. I got to give her a love because nobody else will, and everybody else gonna hate. So, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, man, been a good show tonight. Been with me as always, Fly Free Sports. I keep it locked in, man. Like, share, subscribe. Keep it locked with me, man. More UFC content coming, more everything, more Fly Free Speaks, more all that. So, like I said, keep it locked in with me. And we out until next time, man.